Can I just be real frank with you? I sat in the pews of a church that had about 4,000 members, and I sat there thinking there has to be more than Sunday after Sunday sitting here doing the same thing. You walk right into a place where all the things that you take for granted are impossibilities. But this time, when I read the command, it jumped off the page. It said, go to the nations and preach the gospel. We really felt like God was calling us to make an extraordinary commitment and to sacrifice some of the pleasures and comforts that we had in the States in order to make a difference in the third world. It was in that time where I felt like, Lord, this is where I need to be. Living in the villages, living with the people, like the people, and I can do this. It's a sustainable sacrifice. The first night in the barrio, there was a fiesta, a big party next to our house. About 10 o'clock at night, this thing's going full steam, and a fight breaks out. We didn't understand what they're saying because we moved into the barrio without understanding any Spanish, without speaking any Spanish at all. So we're just hearing this ruckus and this quarreling, and all of a sudden we hear gunshots go off. And this is right next to our house, right next to this little tin roof shack that we bought. People start scattering all over the place, and then all of a sudden we start hearing these bangs on our tin roof. Bang, bang, bang. People from the hillside, people all around, they were throwing rocks. They're actually engaged in a rock fight. And so we're terrified. We're hearing these rocks hit our house. We have our 1-year-old Isaac under the bed, our 3-year-old Shekinah hiding right next to him. Twyla's in the bedroom on her knees praying. I'm in the front room on my knees praying and peeking out the window every now and then to see what's going on. Bam, bam, bam. This huge rock just busts right through our tin roof, right into our front room. By now, I'm praying, Lord, give us grace. What have we done? What are we getting into? We had this grandiose idea that we're going to come in and save the world. We're going to make a difference. And what really wound up happening was the people had to save us. They took us under their wings. They showed us what to eat, where to get water, because we had to carry water in order to just do the simple things in life. So our first project was to start a small group Bible studies. We started meeting with people in their homes and sharing the gospel in the most crude way we could. And after we were there for about the first 2.5, 3 years, we started seeing some major things happening, some major change. I started noticing when I walked down the streets, this house was playing Christian music. And then I'd walk a little bit further and then there was another house that had Christian radio on. When at first there was nobody, no representation, no semblance of Christianity. And then all of a sudden we're noticing that these things are happening. I'm noticing, wow, on this street there's 6 families that are in the church. And each one of those houses, in one way, shape, or form, they're a visible manifestation of the kingdom right now here in this community. Now when we hear people talk about Maria Auxiliadora, they don't talk about it as the worst bar in La Vega anymore. What we wound up doing was developing our first church from cell groups. And we really felt a strong word from the Lord that that church would be a seed plant church where we would raise up leaders in that church in order to start other churches. And that's what's happened. Since we started our first church, we've sistered a church and planted a church in Jarabacoa in the mountains. It's in a village with about 300 people in the village, and there's about 40 people in the church. So more than 10% of the village is converted, saved, serving the Lord. So that's an incredible ratio when you read about church stats. There was a real need in the community for a school for the needy children that just couldn't go to public school. There's 207 kids in the school right now that wouldn't be able to go to school at all, that wouldn't be able to go to public school. They don't have a birth certificate. They don't have Catholic baptism. And so they just couldn't get in public school. And they're in school now. And not just in school, but they're learning English, and they have computer lab. Their uniforms are provided for them. Their medical care is included in their schooling. They get fed in the school. And now we have 150 families that we get to share the gospel with on a regular basis because of the school. I don't like to ask for money because I've seen so many abuses, and frankly, I get turned off by all the emotional trips that people play. I don't want to manipulate people. I want people to be led by the Spirit of God. I'm willing to cross the line and ask for money because I'm not asking for myself. I'm asking for the needs of those people that are all around us. There's so many things that we could accomplish if we had supporters that would get behind us and make a sustainable sacrifice. It's something you can do over the long haul. It's something that you can continue to do, even though it might pinch a little bit to do it. In order to finance ministry, in order to make a difference in the kingdom.